Oh, it's so great to be with you guys today. Thank you so much for allowing me to come. I love a conversation. I love hearing from your experience and getting to know you and what it is that drives you. I'm super curious about any interest that you have in. Well, let's start out with food first. Has anyone had a fresh filled churro before? Has anyone had a filled churro ever in your life? Raise your hand. Where have you had them? You've had ours? Awesome. That's great. Where did you have them? Do you remember?
It was at the wedding expo.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Scouting things out? Good. Good. Awesome. Well, we have some, I don't know what time of year. It was at the beginning of this year or last or something? Winter time? Okay. Okay, so we do have some fall. So we make our churros fresh from scratch, and then we fill them with happiness. And so we have our traditional filling flavors, dulce de leche, Nutella, and sweet cream, and then we're always cycling through seasonal flavors. So we're like straight up in fall right now. So we have pumpkin cheesecake, caramel apple, and wild berry. So Tracy is our amazing, there she is. She's one of our amazing managers and is here to make you churros throughout the course of the class. So be thinking about what flavors you'd like. She's going to be going around with those different flavors and you can test them out. And for those of you that are interested in trying out our secret menu, we'll let you in on some of the secrets. We have spicy cinnamon sugar at 2 levels. We have Diablo style, which is cayenne cinnamon sugar. We have Inferno style, which is habanero cinnamon sugar. All of that goes on the outside. So if you want to like sniffle a little, maybe cry while you eat, let us know. We also have roasted crickets. So if you'd like a cricket on top of your churro, we can do that for you too. So. I am so excited to be here. We are excited to be here to talk about something that has been a passion of mine for years. And this is all about the tacos, but it's also about brand and customer experience. So is anyone else out there on the search for the perfect taco with me? Yeah? Okay. So where are some of you at? We are in West Valley, which is... Are we? Taylorsville, I guess. We're close to West Valley, which is has some pretty awesome tacos. I think one of my actually, I'm curious, what are some of your taco favorites right now? Where are you guys going? Beto's? Okay. Great. Yes. Okay. Yeah, up in Fort Union area-ish. Okay. Any other suggestions? What's that? La Luna, okay, in Jordan Landing, great. Did you say something else? Which one? They are, and we're grateful to all of them. One of my favorite places is on 35th South. It's called Tacos Mi Caramelo. It's probably one of the more authentic taquerias. It has the al pastor on the spit. Pineapple and all the other meats that you can imagine. So totally recommend it. Taco stands on State Street by Sears those are pretty legit too. So anyway, let me know if you have any taco recommendations. But so how does this even relate to you? What are we talking about? So I believe that there's amazing things that you can learn from the taco experience to help us really transform the way that we do business and even our own lives. I know that sounds kind of wacky and out there. I also believe that businesses have the ability and the opportunity to change the world. Now, are all of you in business right now? You are all studying business? Or something related to it. If not, we're all going to be involved in business in some way all of our lives. We have thousands of brand interactions every day. Every day. Think about it. How many brands are you interacting with in this red hot second? How many brands do you have on your body? How many brands are you looking at? How many brands did you use before you got here? What about your phone, your favorite pair of jeans? All of those things that you are touching even in this very moment, maybe even dozens and as we look around, we're interacting with brands all the time. We're developing powerful feelings that will then dictate where we spend our time, money, effort, what we share in person, and what we share on social media as well. So think about it. How do you feel about some of those brands? Actually, 70% of our purchases are based upon how we feel. 70% of our purchases are based on how we feel. So if you think about that shirt that you're wearing or the lipstick that you used, how do you feel about those things? And how does that impact what you do, where you spend your time and money? Now, this isn't necessarily about being touchy-feely, but this personal interaction, this feeling that we get, we are in what many are describing a new relationship economy. H2H, which stands for human to human. Many of you have grown up many of you in this room have grown up being tethered to a screen or being tied to a screen, where we and our lives right now are so hyper connected. We're on a screen, and if we're not on a screen, we're wondering when we can get on a screen again. We're in a culture right now where human to human interaction is so shallow and meaningful interaction is so few and far between that we long for that. We're starving for connection, for meaning, for interaction. It's a longer story, but I have a friend that has been voluntarily homeless for 4 years. It initially started out as an experiment in empathy. That was going to be a couple of months. It has now turned into 4 years, and you'll know about him, and he will be an amazing advocate for our welfare system and for homelessness and what we will do as a society to address this opportunity to help other people. And because of this, like so many questions, and when I started talking to him and I said, gosh, all of a sudden I could ask some questions that we probably all have thought, like when I'm on a street corner and someone that's homeless approaches me for money or food or whatever, what do we do? And he said to me something that I'll never forget. He said, just look them in the eye and acknowledge their humanity, and you'll know what to do. I mean, he said, maybe if you do have some change, maybe if you do have some food that you can offer, do something that you think will be helpful to them, for sure. But the most important thing is to acknowledge that they're human. And I've thought so much about that. I think we live in, and he's been homeless and people have passed by him that he knows, and they don't look him in the eye. He said the most important, when you're homeless, you feel like you're the lowest of the low in society, and you feel unhuman. And he said, the most important thing you can do is look them in the eye and just help them feel that you're acknowledging their humanity. In Nepal, if anyone has been there, or if you do yoga, at the very end, what do they say? Namaste, which means? Anyone? Okay, something along those lines. There's like lots of different translations, but the divine in me recognizes the divine in you. The acknowledges the divine in you. This is what this is about. And for this very reason, because we have so many brand interactions, and because you guys are the current leaders and future leaders of the world, if you can commit to dialing up and humanizing the customer and brand experience even a couple notches, we can increase levels of happiness and self-worth and value around the world. Because if you do it, you're going to influence the businesses that you work in. If you do it, you're going to influence the organizations that you belong to, that you volunteer at, the churches there that you go to, your own family, and even your own person. Because all of us are what I like to call brand stewards. We all have stewardship over brands. Have you guys thought about that? Who has kids in here? Okay. You know that your family has a brand? What do people say about your family when you're not around? Are they like, man, that family's awesome. Their kids are wicked smart. They're super fun. They're way, or do they, they may say other things too. But how are you influencing and how are you architecting what your family brand is? So this doesn't just apply to business. However, by the year 2020, which is just around the corner, customer experience, according to Walker Consulting, will replace price and product as the key brand differentiator. As the biggest brand differentiator is going to be customer experience. Let me tell you why this is. So, any Trader Joe's fans out there? Okay, their banana chips, amazing. You got to try them. Everyone has their own little favorite thing, right? So, Trader Joe's is known for their amazing brand and customer experience. And I was in an aisle, kind of perusing. I was looking at these like coconut crispy something, like sesame seed, whatever. They looked amazing. And I was kind of studying them, reading the back of the package. And the guy that was stocking the shelves next to me says, "Hey, have you ever tried those?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "They're really good. You should open it up and try them." I'm like, "Really? Okay." So I opened it up. And I tried them, and I'm like, man, these are really good. I decided to get 2 of them. So then I was on my way to go pay for them. I said, thank you. I was on my way to go pay them. As I'm there, I overhear the manager that walks next to Alec. And the manager says, hey, we have a customer that she got a flat tire in the parking lot. Could you go help her change her flat tire? He's like, oh, absolutely. I'm like, who is this guy, right? And so I go to check out, and of course I'm like customer experience obsessed. And so I talk to the manager and say, this Alec guy, you got to keep him around. He's gold. Don't ever let him go. I walk out to the parking lot, and of course I try and track down Alec, right? Because I need to find out what's going on. What makes Alec do what he just did? So I go there, and this is Alec. And you can just tell that this is the type of, you all, like many of you, just looking at this right now, you all got smiles on your faces. This is the power and the power of positive customer and brand experience. And now I've already told thousands of people, posted this on social media, thousands of people about this story, all because of Alec. Now, last time he told me, I said, Alec, what is this all about? Why did you do this? And he said, that's just what we do. That's just what we do. So as you think about brand and customer experience, as you think about the businesses that you are running or could run someday, the organizations that you belong to, what is it that you do? When you say that's just what we do, do you want to have people like Alex on your team or Alec on your team? So I told this story recently in another presentation, and someone came up after to me, Emily, and she's like, "You're never going to believe what happened." I'm like, "Tell me." Trader Joe's, I love them. I was at Trader Joe's the other day, and the cashier said, I was with my husband, she said, and the cashier said, "How's your day?" And she said, I was really tempted to just give the normal response, canned response that we always give. And she decided to tell a little bit more. And she said, well, actually, we got a new car today. The cashier reached around behind them, grabbed a bouquet of flowers. Congratulations. gave that customer, Emily and her husband, a bouquet of flowers. Tell me what you think about that. Why did I just get chills? Did you guys get chills? Why is that so amazing? Yeah, bingo. That's exactly right. That is exactly right. This is something that is completely infused into the company's DNA. It's not something that like, oh, that's customer service's job, right? Or, oh, that's what someone else takes care of. This is someone at every level. Like you said, every level, everyone feels empowered. I bet that in their job description, it doesn't say, can you change a flat tire? Or give a bouquet of flowers. When someone comes in and just buys a new car, give them a bouquet of flowers. Absolutely, it's returning the humanity to the whole experience, right? It's not just a transaction, but there's an interaction. And the other thing that I love about it too is that Trader Joe's isn't necessarily going to get anything out of that. You know, a lot of times we think, well, gosh, we're giving away, that's money we're giving away, and what are we going to get in return? Absolutely, right? How about all of this free advertising that I'm doing right now for the last 10 minutes, right? And what is that now when you're thinking about where you're going to go shopping again? Where do you think? Why? They take care of you. Yeah. And that's exactly what this is all about. This goes back to that last slide of the human to human. We're in a relationship economy. And even though we have tech that helps us like seamlessly integrate things and even remove humans from the experience, we're still ultimately human beings interacting with human beings. And the feelings are that much more important that we need to establish and architect and design as conscientious brand stewards, as conscientious business leaders and CEOs that you will all someday be. Now, back to tacos. So, for the past 20 years, I've eaten tens of thousands of tacos in this like worldwide relentless search for the perfect taco. I have lived in Mexico for 3 years. As an adult, I've led hundreds of executives and family members and friends on taco tours to Mexico City, to LA, to here in Utah, in Washington, D.C. And throughout my entire process, I have noticed the amazing, simple things that happen in a taco experience. Has anyone been to Mexico City? You have. So you know. Anyone else? Oh, you guys, we got to go. It's amazing. First of all, the food, and then all of the amazing things that happen there as well. But I started to pick up on simple things that the taco master would do. And, you know, they're interacting with you. You're looking at you. They're right in front of you, like shaving this meat. And what can I get for you? And how was your day? And do you want to start with one? Do you want to start with two? What exactly do you want on your tacos? Like, this is the interaction. They're genuinely wanting you to make the best taco for you and to help you have the greatest experience. So that's why you say, I go to the street tacos down the street, because you don't even necessarily know the name, but that's where you're going to get tacos, because that's where you feel, like you said, where they take care of you. And so I feel like that's really the magic. There's a lot of little things that happen to create an extraordinary brand experience. Now, I love this statistic and the follow-up one. 80% of CEOs believe that they are creating a positive customer experience. So positive CX, positive customer experience right now, currently. When in reality, only 8% of their customers agree with them. So why do you think there's such a big gap? He's like chomping at the bit. Please. And you touched on a couple of really important items. I think, first of all, a huge disconnect. Oftentimes there's a big, even like physical space. They're disconnected from what's really going on in the trenches. And the other is the fact that like this idea, which like makes me cringe, is that you're just an employee. And instead of like you are our biggest asset, and and you're on the front lines and the most important person in our company. And so I think that that's why like TV programs like you mentioned, like Undercover Boss, resonate, because it's like, well, the boss is like getting in on the trenches and slinging bags in the belly of the plane, you know? And that's why we like those, because like, yeah, they get us now. We understand, like they understand what we go through. Yes. Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Yeah, I think that it's to me, what this all means is that it's lots of big doors of opportunity, lots of opportunity for us to, in whatever our position. And I also work with a lot of millennials as well, and I have been super impressed with the people that I've had the chance to work with. That there are opportunities for us to raise the level, and whether or not we're millennial or we're older or even younger, whatever we're doing and wherever we're at, lots of opportunity to raise the level of humanity in the interactions that we have, and create a positive and even legendary and extraordinary brand experience. So back to tacos. I have a taco Instagram account. That's how crazy I am about them. I even wonder if there's a taco out there dreaming of me sometimes. What's that? Yeah. So one of my favorite taco places is in East LA called El Pecas. It is on in an obscure car wash at the intersection, or above the spaghetti bowl of the 5, the 60, and the 10 freeways in East LA. There's police sirens going on at night. It's amazing. I love this place. And it's always packed. One time I went there, and I hadn't been there in 6 months. And Ernesto, it's actually really quite amazing. Ernesto, I walk up to the window, and he says, "Scott, where you been for the last 6 months? Do you want your tacos the way you always get them? Al pastor, extra crispy with extra pineapple?" I was like, "Well, yes, actually, I do. Thank you." And I like pick my jaw up off the ground, right? And I'm just like thinking I'm going to be punked. I'm looking around. Who is this guy? There's so much in that less than 30 second interaction to unpack, right? He knew my name. He remembered my name after 6 months. He remembered exactly what I ordered, and then he genuinely wanted to deliver that to me, which is, I mean, there's the extra work involved, right? He has to leave the meat on longer. He has to tell him to get the extra pineapple out. But he genuinely wanted me to have a positive brand experience. So I asked, like, what if all of us were just a little bit more like Ernesto? What if all of us did genuinely were looking to create a more positive brand experience in anything that we do? So for me, there's a couple of things that we can. I kind of use the word taco to delineate some really simple principles, a simple methodology for you to perhaps analyze the customer experience that you have stewardship over in anywhere where you work. For you to even analyze when you're a customer, like how are they doing on this thing? So let me walk you through a couple of these. So first of all, the fundamentals. I know you're not supposed to use articles for acronyms, but I'm breaking all the rules. So I use the T on the fundamentals. So basically, if you're creating an electric car, the electric car has to work, and it needs to function. If you are running a churro business, your churros have to be good. It's basics, you know. Otherwise, it's just lipstick on a pig, right? So the next one, always different, positive, and special. So this is a sloth, and I mean, it's probably the cutest sloth I think I've ever seen. I didn't take this picture, but when I was living in Peru, we went for one summer, we went to the Amazon jungle in Iquitos, the largest city that is inaccessible by road in the world. It is at the heart of the Peruvian Amazon. And has anyone been to developing countries and the artisan markets? and gone shopping in any of the artisan markets in developing countries? You have. Okay. Anyone else? You have? Vietnam. Okay. So I have not yet been to Vietnam, but I would imagine that it's very much the same thing. Rows and rows of kiosks that are selling the exact same thing for the exact same price. And I'm walking down here and I'm thinking, what in the world is going to make me stop at this artisan stand versus the one right next to them? They're selling the same thing for the same price. Probably made in the same factory, maybe in China even. And so I'm thinking about this. I'm like, gosh, no one is doing anything to differentiate themselves. Just as I'm thinking this, I look all the way down the end of the row, and I see just bursting at the seams, people, all like huge crowd of people. What is going on down there? I walk down there, and sure enough, there was a live sloth in this kiosk, in this little shop, and everyone was taking a picture with the sloth. And the sloth selfie, and they're like, and then the sloth, you hold the sloth, and it's like and they're like bristly hair and bony, and like their little toes like dig into you, and it's like awesome. And everyone wants to take a picture with the sloth. So they're standing in line, they're talking, they're happy. Where do you think everyone's spending their money in that market? With the sloth, right? So because they have figured out how to stand out, how to be different, how to be positive, and how to be special and memorable. And you're thinking, man, I'm happy. I just held a sloth, and I'll buy this here, Yeah, that's great. I mean, I'll buy it here because down the road, they don't care about me or about how I feel or about providing me with any sort of extra special experience. So I ask you, when you're thinking about the brands that you have stewardship over, what is your sloth factor? What is it that helps you stand out above everyone else? Because there's a sea of sameness. Unfortunately, we're in our society where we are used to mediocre or terrible brand experiences. And so you can dial it up just a little bit and really stand out. Next thing, consistent commitment. So I also ran a couple of nursing homes for about 4 years in Southern California. In various situations in the nursing home business, when the biggest source of complaints are call lights. Call lights not getting answered on time. Call lights are the lights that the patient clicks so that the nurse knows that something's up and they should come and help them out. So the director of nursing and myself, Elizabeth, phenomenal nurse. We would tell our team that it was part of our company culture internally, that it's everyone's job to take care, no matter what you do, everyone's job is to take care of our residents. And while I'm not a clinician and I'm not legally able to insert an IV or to change someone's brief or anything like that, I can't legally do that. But I can answer the call light and then take the responsibility to go get someone to do that. And so we would tell people that if they ever caught us passing by a call light that we didn't answer, we would give them $20 on the spot. So you better believe that everyone was watching Elizabeth and me as we're like walking down the hall, maybe even sometimes turning on a call light to see if we'll actually stop. But we did, and they're watching because they want to see if we, speaking of upper level, right, if we are also consistently committed to what we say we're going to do. If we really are walking the walk and talking the talk. So consistent commitment. The last one, again, an acronym. Well, I'm sorry about that. But this is the cherry on top. This is the above and beyond. This is the extra little thing that makes what you're doing legendary, and this is the bouquet that you give someone that just got a new car, right? In this case, this is a picture that I took from Los Machetes, which is a taco shop in downtown Mexico City. They've been making tacos as long as your arm or as long as the blade of a machete. for about 53 years. I'm gonna show you this video. Actually, Tracy was here when we did this. Hopefully the sound works. There we go. So I'm gonna take you to Mexico City, where Amparo, who is the owner, invited me back in to be part of the experience. How do I turn it up? This to me is like textbook human to human interaction. This is the opportunity. This represents to me the opportunity that all of us have in our brand experiences that we're creating to invite people into our brand, to be a part of what we do, to like laugh with us and feel with us and teach us something new. I have shared this experience with thousands of people. And, you know, people are like, I want to go to Los Machetes because like they care about you. They invite you there. You're like part of it. You're part of the story. So as brands, you're writing a story. You're telling a story. So the more that we can involve our people in that story, the better. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. And just even recognizing that that opportunity exists, right? Because they have people come by all the time that speak Spanish that aren't in their culture, but they took the opportunity to like invite me, kind of like everyone wants to feel like a VIP. Everyone wants behind the velvet rope. Everyone wants that. And so the more that we can do that, the better. Let me tell you the bad side. What happened? Okay, well these are two. I'm taking pictures everywhere where I go of good and bad customer and brand experience. So these are a couple that I love. This is probably one of my all-time favorites, the terrible ones. This is one that I saw in Mexico City. I don't trust anymore because I've lost friendship, money, and clients. Really inspiring to make you want to like buy there, right? And then the last one, or this was in a restroom in a gas station in Virginia. Thanks to customers, someone broke the paper towel dispenser. Sorry, management. Well, how about blaming the customers too? That makes you feel super inspired, right? So the reality is when we have negative customer experiences, only 9% of us return to buy. 9%. Now, let me tell you really quickly about another negative experience and the impact that it can have. So when you're thinking about like what you're currently doing or how you're crafting things for your future when you're going to be leaders, if you're not yet already. A friend of mine, I gave this similar presentation at UVU at their MBA program. The professor, during the presentation, says, yeah, actually, I was living in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and I was there with my family of 5, and we had a dog named Dragon. And twice a year, my company paid for me to take my entire family back to the United States. It's a very expensive trip for 5 family members plus a dog back and forth from the United States. On one of their very early trips in the 5 years that he lived there, Delta had a terrible mix-up with transferring Dragon from the Saudi Arabia Airlines to Delta. And where the Delta employee showed total lack of empathy and no interest in helping with their dog. He figures, because they had such a terrible experience with that, he figured that Delta missed out on $150,000 in revenue from his family alone during the 5 years, because they vowed never again to fly on Delta. Now, I, on the other hand, have had really great experiences with Delta, but this was his experience, and I think to highlight the impact that one negative experience can have. When I was the first nursing home that I ran was in the Pasadena area. We took over a nursing home that was bankrupt, and we didn't have money to devote to or to designate towards any marketing efforts. We had 200 direct competitors within 20 miles. We had about half of our nursing home had beds that were unfilled. And so we had a lot of work to do. And that's when I became a student and just this voracious learner about customer and brand experience, and started reading about what the Ritz-Carlton does, what Disney does, Zappos, Chick-fil-A, In-N-Out, Starbucks, Trader Joe's. What do these people do to create such a loyal following? Create an experience that's so special and different that you are actually building and you're developing evangelists and fans that are raving about you wherever they go, and they're bringing you up in conversation, and so they're helping you to advertise, to market, to help you build your reputation. And so we really devoted and dedicated a ton of time to establishing that within our nursing home. And with a lot of hard work and an amazing team, we were able to turn this nursing home around from bankruptcy to $4.5 million in revenue within 1 year. And all because of the customer experience. We would tell the doctors and the discharge planners at the hospital that we trained all of our team at the Ritz-Carlton, and their families came here, and it was our goal to have those family, the doctors refer their parents, if their parents ever needed nursing home care, to us. If we reach that level, then we're like, okay, we have established trust enough to the degree that the doctors believe in us. So what happens when you create positive customer experience? So all of the good feels, right? All of the good vibes and the feelings and emotion is very real. But you can actually, there's like, these are attributed down below, but positive customer experience equals customer spend of 140% more. Revenues go up 15%, costs go down 20%, loyalty skyrockets, happiness skyrockets. All of these things are very tangible results that you can expect to see happen when you, as a business leader, fully infuse principles of extraordinary brand experience into everything you do. Now, plug your own numbers into there, right? For those, who's a business owner in here? Aspiring business owners? Okay, all the crazies? Yeah. Imagine what you think your numbers are, and then plug them in. If you infuse brand experience into there. Let me give you one last example, then we'll end. When we were running Surfair is the first all-you-can-fly membership airline. So we launched Surfair in Southern California. You pay a monthly fee, fly as much as you want in first-class seats, anywhere you go. Or anywhere where we go in Southern California and Northern California at the time. Now it's expanded, but it was a completely new concept. No one had ever done it before. And when we were hiring our pilots for this, we wanted to find a specific character trait in our pilots. We wanted to find pilots that really, truly cared, that recognized the importance of this human-to-human interaction. And so I'll never forget when we were talking with one of our first pilots, Mike Flint. And he was a private pilot before he came to us. And he worked for several very wealthy individuals. On one of the flights that he was taking, it was a plane with 3 women in it. And Mike when we were interviewing him, we were like, tell us an experience when you've gone above and beyond to surprise and delight, or to really make a difference in your clients' lives. He said, well, I'll tell you what, I had a 3-click rule. Okay, what's that all about? So if I hear behind me in the plane, there's 3 clicks, I know that something's up. I know that they're like looking for something that they can't find. So they're like clicking, opening drawers, little doors, all sorts of things to try and find something. So we heard 3 clicks, and he's like, ladies, how can I help you? we are dying for some chocolate. We just need chocolate. And they're like, about 20 minutes from landing. And we're just like, we need chocolate. You got chips and nuts and all sorts of beverages, but no chocolate. We're dying. How can we, and he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. He radios down to the concierge at the private airport. He says, whatever you do, go to the nearest vending machine, get me 3 of anything that has chocolate in there, and meet me plainside when we deplane. So he brought down all the cheap grocery store chocolate, right? At 3 of each, plainside. These women were so blown away. They get off the plane and there's like this Kit Kat and Reese's and whatever else. They're like, oh my gosh, like nothing like single source bar chocolate, which is probably what they're used to buying or whatever. But they were so blown away with the attention to detail and the kindness. They were responsible for over $300,000 in referral sales, just from $20 in cheap chocolate. And so as you think through the importance of customer and brand experience and the opportunity that there is for you to make a lasting difference in the lives, and obviously you're going to see business results. We've seen that. But for me, this is more important than that. This is about legacy. This is about the legacy that you as a leader have the opportunity to leave. This is about the legacy that you have to make an impact for good in the world, to connect with people on real levels, eye to eye, and acknowledge the humanity. How did I learn about churros? So when I went, I was a Mormon missionary in Mexico for 2 years. And then when I finished my mission, I went back a couple of years later and I did an internship in Mexico City. And that's where I had my first filled churro from the streets in a little neighborhood that's called Coyoacan. It's like an artsy neighborhood where Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera lived. And it's an amazing, there's like a churro stand on every corner. Tracy and our pastry staff went down there to experience it about 1.5 years ago. And I'm like, this would be irresponsible not to bring churros this good to America. So, yeah. Maybe a little career ADD, but also the common thread among them all is I have a passion for I figure that you're working 1/3 of your life or more. If you're an entrepreneur, it's probably a little bit more because it's crazy. But I figure that if I'm doing that, I want to be involved in something that makes a difference. And so in people's lives. And so when opportunities have come my way or when I've thought of them and executed on them, it's something that has like everything from the nursing home to the airline to a nonprofit that we started to the churro business and other things in between. Those are the common threads. I want to create something that has a lasting impact and make the world a better place. And that's something that's always driven me. And so it didn't really matter what the vehicle was, whether it was a nursing home or churro or an airplane. San Diablo, yeah? What does it mean? It does, that's right. So it is an oxymoron. It's impossible. But when I was thinking about the name for the business, I'm like, I wanted to have some sort of brand that you could do something with, that had like meat and character and you could have fun with it. And so we embraced the whole angel and devil thing. I was thinking, when I was coming up with names, I was like going down this path of holy churro, they're so good, they're like sent from heaven, so churro divine, like Saint Churro, all these like holiness, churros. Then I'm like, but they're so, and so I did all those names, and then they're so bad for you, and they're so tempting and devilish and wicked and evil, and get thee hence churros and all these sorts of things. And so and then I mashed them up, and I was like, San Diablo, trademark search. No one had ever claimed it. So we have it now, but I was shocked. But yeah, so we like to say our churros are heaven sent, wicked good. The process can be long. It can be quicker if you expedite it and pay a lawyer to do it. I thought that I could do it on my own, and so it took a little bit longer. It took about 1 year. Legal Zoom, and I'm working with another company called Savvy out of Utah that's kind of doing a different legal business model that may be of interest to you. But there's, yeah, I mean, I didn't pay for them, but they can do that for you for sure. Yeah, and then you can find a lawyer, like you just Google like trademark lawyers or patent lawyers here locally. The patent office lawyers are actually pretty helpful. They get your trademark application gets assigned a lawyer in the trademark office in Washington, D.C., and so they'll walk you through the process. They're mostly helpful. Yeah. On the back of my business card is a scratch and win, a free churro. So if you want to do that, please come and see us. Looks like the back couple of rows got some churros, and if any of you'd like to, I know that Tracy's making them right now, so we can get you churros on your way out. Here's my card. Please stay in touch. Happy to help out with anything that you guys have going on. I'm excited for your future, so thank you so much.
Thank you.